everybody, One of Wiisdom here. It is Sunday night, just a little after the Super Bowl, and doing a bit of cleaning here. I'm trying to catch up on some things. So, as you can see, we are back at the pool table, and we have an Xbox One controller. This is not the original it came with it. It's one I picked up, so I'd have two controllers. But this goes back to the launch of the Xbox One. Basically, if you recall, I unboxed a custom controller a while back. This one I picked out all the color schemes, everything. If you can see it there in gray, I've got my name engraved, etched, I should say. The big difference between these, if you can pick up on it, where this is the flat black that transitions sort of to the, I don't want to say translucent, but sort of like the high gloss black. You'll note it's all uniform and all colored here. That's because this, being an early first-gen iteration of the Xbox One controller, doesn't have a feature this one has, and that is Bluetooth. So this one sort of remains like my Player 2 controller if my nephew or any friends are over. Obviously I use this one, I've got it synced up with the Xbox One, but some of the games I've been picking up on Steam on the computer I built were sort of designed for a controller, and you try to play it with a keyboard and it kind of sucks. You can definitely do it, but it's not that great of a setup. So a gift I was given recently is right here, and it's about time I open it up and put it to use. So all this one is going to be done. Its sole purpose for me is going to be synced via Bluetooth to the new computer. I've never done it. Supposedly Windows 10, which is the operating system I installed on the computer, it's got the Bluetooth capabilities. Basically, you go to settings, I think it's controllers, and then there's a Bluetooth option. If anyone wants more information on that, you can find it, or if you request it, there's enough people that need to see how to do it. I can probably make that happen for you. But it's pretty exciting. Again, I don't know. I assume I could set this one up, but then I think I would probably have to pair it back to the Xbox One. I'm not 100% on that. It might work both ways. If it does, that's pretty awesome. But just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to keep that one 100% dedicated to the Xbone, and I'm going to use this one because it matches my build color scheme on the PC for the new computer. So like I said, this was a gift. These typically retail for $59.99 in the wireless configuration and in this color scheme. Xbox, of course, they've got the Design Lab, which is super freaking cool. I wish Nintendo had something similar to that. That would be a mega hit. Xbox does also have, in my opinion, the best, first-party controller schemes. They do a lot of special editions, a lot of limited releases, a lot of just really cool color options that I'm a big fan of. Sadly, you don't really need that many controllers, and they are kind of expensive, so you sort of, just like, ooh, that's cool, and that's the end of it. But this one, again, it does match my build scheme, and you can get these oftentimes for around $40 brand new. You gotta be on the lookout. I just checked prices before we came in. Best Buy was $60, Amazon is $50. I think everywhere else somewhere in between. Of course, you can get price matches, but if you are diligent, if you kind of monitor these week to week, you can probably save 10 to 20 bucks fairly easily for the exact same product. So this is the packaging for a slick wireless controller. Spin it around, you just got a side shot of the controller right here. As you can see, what's included: the wireless controller, 2 AA batteries, that's always a perk, and it will work, as you can see, Xbox One and Windows. Now, right there, that's important. Windows 10 uses Bluetooth. Of course, you can direct connect with a USB cable, which is what I will be doing if for some reason the Bluetooth doesn't pair, or an Xbox wireless adapter. Those things are insanely hard to find. Like, that was my original plan. I was like, well, I'm just going to get a wireless adapter, and those are a nightmare. You can get them online pretty easy, but locally, at least for me, they're non-existent, which is kind of unfortunate. But spin it around to the backside here, and it's pretty much the same thing. Stay on target with textured grips also includes Bluetooth for gaming on Windows 10 devices. Again, where you see that white, it's sort of just a drop down, and it maintains the color scheme of the controller. That's exactly what you see here. And then again, this is the old Xbox One controller. It does not have Bluetooth. Where it transitions down, it's going to be a different color scheme, right? It's going to match your triggers, if you will. That's basically in a nutshell. If you've got an old controller and maybe you wore out your first one or your first two and you've picked up some since, if it kind of has the black translucence around the power button, not going to be Bluetooth. You can always try it, but that's the easiest way to find out. So what we need to do now, bust this open. It's been being in the 70s all the time, and then today it was freaking cold. Right around lunchtime, a cold front came through, so worked out well for the Super Bowl, I suppose. Made tamales, all that good stuff. And if we get this out, let's see what we got. We'll throw that up in the top. Pretty slick looking controller, I have to say. Again, this is not custom from the design lab. It's just sort of one of the alternate color schemes Xbox has put out themselves. And like I said, the white and the black, it works really well with the build that I did. White and blue, if I were to invert that, which this does have quite a bit of white as you can see, but if I were to invert that, maybe a little bit better, but it does tie in quite nicely with my keyboard, so that's cool. Go ahead and open this up. As you can see, we got the Duracells. Let's try to guess the age of this controller based on the batteries. And let's see here. I'm not seeing a date, actually. Interesting. Let me actually, that's pretty much it. There's instructions behind it, which we're not really going to need them, but we'll dump them out there just for the heck of it. Anyway, I'm going to see if we can get information on the batteries. Maybe the date. That's pretty tight plastic wrap, so maybe that's the case. But this particular design has been around for a while, so I didn't know, if it's one that's just been sitting around somewhere, or if maybe it's, fairly recently produced. And the batteries, of course, would be a good indicator of that. Dun dun dun. We got nothing, man. Let's see. Alright, I think I found it. They've totally done this differently. This is a Duracell OEM. No one probably cares about this, but there you go. You see that Duracell OEM? That is not what you typically see. And the date's always typically emboldened on the back end here. It is now on the copper top, and I don't think that's going to focus at all. But what it says is 8/2017, which I'm assuming that's when these were made, which that would mean this is a pretty new controller. And they're good through 8/2024. So August 2017, August 2024. That means this guy has not been sitting around too terribly long. So it's got the really good grip. The Xbox controller is fantastic. The Nintendo Pro controller is nice. I don't have much bad to say about it, but I have bigger hands than most people. This is a little bit wider of a profile. Works really well for me. Obviously, if you've got smaller hands, you might like this but feel like it's too big, in which case the Nintendo Pro controller would probably gain your support in that same category. But it's sort of a gloss black. It'd kind of be cool if it was flat, but again, I didn't customize it. This is just one of their mini cool off-the-shelf options. I like that these, your menu and your entry buttons are white. Analog sticks themselves are black. Sort of a gloss D-pad, typical color scheme there. With the buttons, we've got sort of a cool looking Xbox button there, the power button. There we have our USB connector. You've got your sync button. The paddles are good. I don't think you can really see the textured grip, but if you were to hold this controller and you were to hold this controller, this one is way more slick because it doesn't have that subtle texturing. So that's one of the other upgrades they made. Something cool Xbox always does, if we take the battery pack out, you can actually see it. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Dun dun dun, right there. If you look at the barcode, go up a little bit. Hello from Seattle. So always a cool touch. The other thing, as you can tell, you've sort of got your chat pad connections and the headset jack. And on this one, you do not have the standalone headset jack. That's another subtle difference between the controllers. But let's go ahead and get the batteries in real quick. So negative, positive, and positive, negative here. We'll spin them around. Not for retail sale. Won't be cool like that. Put this in place. These do also feel lighter to me compared to the original ones. And again, I can't stress this enough. The camera's not going to tell you anything when you look at this one and when you look at the back of this one. But there is a very subtle texture, and it is very noticeable when you're holding the controller. It's not objectionable. It's not like a silicone sleeve like on a Wiimote or something. It's not like a coarse sandpaper. It's just enough to give you the grip. And I think this is going to serve me very well. Not quite sure what my sister paid for this, but it is much appreciated. And like I said, if you're sitting on the fence and the $60 price tag is kind of scaring you away, just watch it. Probably within a month, you'll be able to save at least $10, possibly 20 or more. So there have been times I've seen these again as low as like $39.99, brand new. And keep in mind, if you're burned out at the high price point, wait for a sale on the custom controller that you can do from the Design Lab. If you were thinking, man, this would be perfect if this was flat black, or this would be perfect if it was white for the back of the buttons, you can do pretty much whatever you want in the Xbox Design Lab. It's a super cool feature. But, like I said, I'm opening this up for a reason. Number one, to clean, and number two, I intend to use it. So there's quite a few games, like I said, I picked up recently where the controller will pair better than the keyboard and mouse. Just kind of the way the games were designed. Otherwise, very tough to beat a keyboard and mouse as your inputs, if it is an option for both setups. But I've got nothing bad to say about this. I like it. It was a gift, and I'm going to get some usage out of it. So that was that. I got a couple other things here we're going to try to take a look at on the pool table. Nothing too crazy here. You sort of got like your quick start guide, some stuff we're not even going to read. Actually, let me see if they walk you through. Dun, dun, dun. Alright, that's if you're syncing with an Xbox. There's that. Alright, when pairing to a PC via Bluetooth setting devices, Bluetooth Xbox wireless controller. That's pretty much it. And you're probably going to hold the button down. So, yeah. Should be self-explanatory. If you search this, the good news is the first thing you typically find is the Microsoft Knowledge Base article. So it's kind of short, straight to the point, numeric instructions. And if you have further trouble, you can probably find videos. If you're having a lot of issues with it and you would like to see me walk you through it from the computer, I would be glad to do so, but I don't really think that'll be necessary. Nonetheless, cool to add another one to the stable of my first controller. As I always do, the analog sticks are shot. The left analog stick, a lot of racing game action. This one has held up very well. Still absolutely love the color scheme. And this one we're going to pair specifically for use with the PC. So player 2, player 1 on Xbox, and the PC controller. So color coordination, always an option. Always a perk if it is an option, I should say. So that's it. I'm going to quit rambling. As always, thanks for watching. Wiisdom.com is a website. SkylanderClub.com is the forum. MindLogics.net for all things Minecraft related. And until next time, I will catch you back here for more action from the pool table. Adios.